guys. All right. So inequalities. Yesterday we learned what the symbols meant, and you had an assignment showing. I gave you the answer, and you had to match it with its graph on the number line. So today we're going to do some actual solving. We're going to start with adding and subtracting of inequalities. So I'm going to give you 4 examples, and we're going to also graph them ourselves, and then you're going to do some practice on your own. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Share. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are adding and subtracting inequalities. Now, this is very similar to what we were already doing with the equations. All that's different is that instead of an equal sign, you have an inequality symbol. You're greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, okay? So let's see what we're gonna do here. Let's look at our first one. We have x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 18, okay? We're gonna ignore the inequality symbol. We're just gonna focus on the variable. I want x by itself. In order to get x by itself, I must get rid of the positive 8. The opposite of a positive 8 is a negative 8. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides of our inequality. A negative and a positive 8 will cancel each other out and leave you with just your x. I'm going to bring my inequality symbol down, and then I'm going to proceed. 18 minus 8 leaves me with 10, okay? So our inequalities answer is x is greater than or equal to 10. If I were to graph this, give me my number line. I'm going to put 10, and I'm going to just put a number on both sides of it, okay? If I look at the inequality symbol, because it has a solid line underneath it, I know that I need to have a dot, a solid dot. And my inequality is greater than, so I'm going to go to the right. So I'm going to give myself an arrow pointing to the right. Let me show you a little trick, guys. If you draw a line in the middle of the inequality, it makes an arrow. That arrow should match what you have on your number line. So just a little trick for you right there. All right, let's look at the next one. I have x minus 1 is greater than 6. Again, I'm going to ignore the inequality symbol, and I'm just going to focus on this side of it. I want x by itself. I have to get rid of the negative 1. The opposite of a negative 1, positive 1. So I'm going to be adding 1 to both sides of the inequality. A negative 1 and a positive 1 will cancel and leave me with just my variable. I'm going to bring the inequality symbol down. And then over here, 6 plus 1 gives me 7. So x is greater than 7. I'm going to do my number line. Put 7, 8, and 6. This one is just the inequality symbol. I don't have a solid line. So that means my answer is going to be an open circle. And it says greater than. So my arrow needs to go to the right. So I'm going to put an arrow pointing to the right. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. Negative 7 plus x is greater than or equal to negative 8. Again, I'm looking at just this side of the inequality. I want the variable by itself. I need to get rid of the negative 7. So the opposite of a negative 7 would be a positive 7. Okay, a negative 7 and a positive 7 will cancel and leave me with just my variable. I'm going to bring down my inequality symbol. Negative 8, positive 7. Remember with our integer rules, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm adding and subtracting with negative numbers and I have a positive number, when they have different signs, I subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number. So they have different signs, so I'm going to subtract them. 8 minus 7 is 1. So I'm going to put the 1 right here. Now I need to go back and look at these numbers. I'm going to ignore their symbols. I have an 8 and I have a 7. Which number is bigger? The 8. In front of the 8 is a negative symbol, so that's what will go in my answer. So my answer is going to read x is greater than or equal to negative 1. Now pay attention. When I'm looking at negative numbers on a number line, remember they're backwards. So 0, negative 1, negative 2, okay? Look at my inequality symbol. I have greater than or equal to symbol. So that means I need to put a solid circle because this line underneath means I have a solid dot. And if I draw my little helper, if I put a line down the middle, my arrow is pointing to the right. So that should also be on my graph. Okay. All right, last one. X minus 1 is less than or equal to 3. Again, I want x, my variable, by itself. So I need to get rid of our negative 1 by doing the opposite, which is a positive 1. A negative 1 and a positive 1 cancel and leave me with x. I bring down my inequality symbol, and then 3 plus 1 is 4. So now my inequality reads x is less than or equal to 4. I'm going to draw my number line. All right, my inequality has a solid line underneath it, so that means I need to have a solid dot. And look, my arrow is going to be going to the left this time because it's less than. So I need to mimic that. This arrow matches my number line arrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our lesson on adding and subtracting inequalities. As you can see, it's the same as what we did with the equations. Be careful of your integer rule. Make sure if you have a negative and a positive number, you subtract them. Keep the sign of the bigger number for your final answer. All right, guys, go ahead and do your practice for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.